Good morning. At least it's good morning for me. It is Friday, the day after Christmas, so December 26th. I'm going to start working on the gable. For those of you who have been watching and paying attention, this is my carport that I bought off of Amazon on Black Friday for sale. It was originally $1,700, and with taxes and shipping, it was going to be a little over $2,000, and I got it for $1,400. Everything said and done. It was supposed to be a 24 by 20 foot, sorry, 25 by 20, but it's actually 18 by 24. They lied on the dimensions. It was supposed to be 12 foot tall, but I made it 15 foot tall. I'm going to pull it back another 5 feet and add on another additional little section right here, because this eventually I'm going to close this in to be a carport, hence the title of the video. So today I'm building the gable. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to build both gables front and back with this square tubing I have here on the ground. And I'm going to see how far I get. I'm going to weld it up. I was thinking about building these little plates, welding them on here, drilling holes so I could self-tap everything. But I don't want to self-tap. I want to weld it, so it's going to be more solid. So I'm going to go up to these crossbars right here. This is how tall the gable is going to be, right at the bottom of that crossbar. And my wife's cooking breakfast right now, so when she's done cooking, I'm going to stop to go eat and then come back out. So I'm going to butt it right up under this and weld it. And this is where my crossbar is going to go for the gable structure. I could remove this, and I could bring it all the way up to here, right at the bend. And I could go across from the bend and bring it up higher, getting a bigger door. But let's see what this ends up being if I go from the ground, which I'm going to go from the top of the tubing. So if we go from the top of the tubing, we are looking at 8 foot. So that's 8 foot tall. If I go to the bend, it's 9 foot. Nope, sorry, 9.5. Yeah, 9.5 foot. So if I go up to the bend, if I go to here, it's going to be 8 foot tall. Well, minus, so 7 foot 10. If I come, because minus the 2 inches. So if I come to here, it's going to be 7'10". If I go up to here, it could be 10 foot tall as far as it goes for the pass under. If I was going to be parking a full-size RV in here, I probably would go all the way up to the corner, because this is 10 foot tall right here. Well, I guess 9.5, but you get what I'm saying. So if I went all the way up to here, that would give me clearance on a door, because I could build my doors, like pull open doors or swing doors or barn doors or whatever, roll up door. And if I went that high, then I could bring a full-size camper in here. What I mean by full-size camper, I mean like your typical, like maybe 16, 18 foot camper that has an air conditioner on top, because those are about 9 foot tall, 9.5 foot tall with an air conditioning unit. But I don't want anything that big. I want a teardrop camper. I'm going to build a teardrop camper eventually, which this is a 4 foot by 8 foot sheet of steel right here. But I'm going to make mine 5 foot by 10 foot, so you can see how small of a footprint it takes up in here. And it's not going to be very tall either. Why? Because if you're camping, I feel like being outside is the whole point. And I don't see the need to be indoors if the whole point is to go outdoors, because we do tent camping. And the only time we go in the tent is to sleep, and that's it. So same basic concept for a teardrop camper. The only difference is everything can be inside of it, so you don't have to load and unload anything. You just hook up, go, get to camp, unload everything, and it's basically a tent on wheels is what it's going to be. I know that's totally off topic about what we're doing here today, but anyways, just talking about the height of the door and the logic and the reasons why I don't need to go so tall. Plus, if I ever do decide to get a full-size RV, I can always fabricate it and make it taller. That's not an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind the paint off of here so I have something to weld to on both sides. And then I got to measure out from end to end. And that way I can see how wide it actually is, so I can get a measurement on how long I need to cut my tubing, which it should be technically 18 feet, 1.5 inches. There's a zip tie over there. That's what I hooked to, in case y'all are wondering, why is it staying up like that? Okay, so I pull all the slack. This is 18 1 1/4. So 18 1 1/4 is what this is. 18 1 1/4. So that's how long I'm going to cut the first one. 18 foot 1 1/4. It was supposed to be 20 foot wide. So a little disappointing that it's not 20 foot wide, but it is what it is. Make sure that this didn't pull any slack. Well, I guess that kind of pulled a little bit of slack. So I guess it's a little bit wider than 1/4. Yeah, because dang, I'm pulling that. That does open up a little bit. Yeah, it's probably about an 1/8 inch, maybe 3/16 that that's pulling. So instead of maybe 1/4, maybe I'll go to 3/8. I'm going to cut it 18 1 3/8 is what I'm going to do. And that way, if it's too tight, I can cut it down, but you can't add more. And it's like, oh, well, you can just weld it in. You can fill it in. I was like, yeah, I can fill it in, but if I don't have to, I'm not going to. So I'm going to do 18 foot or 1 inch. Oh, I forgot my extension cord. I need to get 2 extension cords, one for my porta band. Because that's what I'm going to use to cut this. And then one, well, I guess I could just swap back and forth. Okay, let me get my extension cord. You know what's funny is I bought this little 110 welder from Harbor Freight with the intentions of it being temporary till I get a 220 welder. And that was 8 years ago. So for it being temporary, it sure has lasted. And I have done a ton of projects with that little welder. I mean, a ton. And it has never let me down. It could weld up to 3/16 still. And to be honest, if you're not welding structural, like refinery type stuff, 3/16 is plenty of penetration, to be honest. I've never had anything like really go wrong with any of my welds to a point where I'm like, oh, this is trash. I need to get it, where I got mad or upset or disappointed or angry at it. It's always come through. When we go out of town, when we go off-roading out of town, I bring it with me because of it's convenient. You can plug it in anywhere. You can use it anywhere. You don't need gas. You don't need a 220. But eventually I will get a 220 gas shield welder just because of they do better, like they are better welders, and you do get cleaner, better welds. So I'm not denying the quality of the welds. I'm just saying, like, it hasn't let me down yet, and I got it for like $80 at the time. All right, 18 1 3/8. See if we can't get, we'll see how far we can get with this, because I got 6 sticks of tubing and I want to build the gables, see how much tubing I have left. Then I'm going to decide if I'm going to start building out the back part or if I'm going to start framing out the front with what I have left, and then figure out how much tubing I need left to do the doors and whatever part I'm working on, and to finish all the tubing, so I know how much money and how much to go get whenever the time comes to go get it. Where did my mark go? There it is. And I always tell myself when I go to the store, I'm going to buy me a box of carpenter pencils. And I know, oh no, use soapstone, but I feel like pencils give a more accurate line. It's a much sharper line, and I can be precise with it versus doing soapstone. I always feel like soapstone is like, you know, is it exactly 18 3/8, or is it a little over? Is it a little under? With this, I can get dead on exactly what I need. And what I'm going to do with my porta band, I'm not going to cut all the way through. I'm going to cut aside, flip it, cut aside, flip it, cut aside, flip it. Reason being is anytime I ever try cutting straight through something with a porta band, it always ends up walking on me. It always ends up walking. I can never get it to just go, no matter how precise I try, at some point it's going to start to, even if it's just a 16th, it always ends up walking on me. Then I get this beveled cut. So I'm just going to cut section by section. I was using my grinder last time I cut these tubings, but this time I decided, nah, I'm just going to use my porta band. Okay, apparently I need to put a new blade on this. This blade is actually really old. I've had this blade on here for a long time, many years. I've done a lot of projects with it. And it's finally gotten to the point where I need to change it out. There was almost no teeth on that. But luckily I came prepared for just the situation. I had a feeling I was going to need to change it because last project I did feel like I was spending a lot more time trying to cut through the material I was working with. Oh, it seems like I don't know if this is leaking a little bit of oil from the gear worm or the drywall. Man, I hope not. Oh wow, look at that. Ate through that like butter. Amazing what a fresh blade will do. And I know it might take a little bit more time to stop and flip this over, but I want my cuts to be precise. Okay, first part done. Let me get up here and clean this metal off. I think I'm gonna have to go get me some clamps to hold these in place. Kind of nicked my extension cord, but it's okay. Didn't cut it. I'm gonna have to cut that off actually and move that so I don't burn it up when I'm welding. I gotta go get my cutter. Okay, breakfast is ready. I'm gonna go eat and then come back out and start working on this again. Well, that was a good breakfast. Had bacon and sausage and biscuits and pancakes. Okay, since I only have two hands, man, I missed paint on that? I sure did. It looked like I got it all off from the angle I was looking at, but from down here, clearly there's still paint on that. Son of a gun. Okay, so there's still paint on that one too. Is it just the angle? Is it shadowy? That looks like paint still. Ah, it is paint. I'm glad I noticed it now before I got up there and tried welding it. That would have been a little bit more difficult. Okay, now I'm going to take my quick grab clamps here and this piece that I cut down, clamp this 2x6 up there. You know what? Forgot to grab my cutters. I need to remove that zip tie to get that extension cord away from where I'm going to be welding, because don't want that to get overheated. Let's see if I can't just grab and break that. Yep. That'll work. Up and down the ladders. That's the theme of this build. That works. that will work. Same thing on the other side. And it makes it easy because I don't have to measure anything out. I'm just going directly under what's already there. So it makes it convenient. Now I know I could be like, well, let me level it. Let me measure it out and put a level on it and make sure it's all, but there's no point. I'm just gonna go off of the brackets here. And if they're off a little bit from each other, I can live with that. For the most part, it should be pretty consistent. Pretty good. Let's see if I can't get it up here easily, hopefully. Let me make sure I did hit record on this, because that does happen sometimes. Yes. Yes, I did. Here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to set this up here on this. And then I'll go to very sketchily walk it back just like this to the ladder. Oh, perfect. That 1 3/8, perfect, man. I called it. The pull from that zip tie did open it up some, so that is perfect. Nice and square. Seven foot 10 inches. Bubbles off a little bit. It needs to be elevated on the other side, maybe like 1/4 of an inch, so that side needs to go up by 1/4 of an inch. But the issue isn't the position of the bar, it's the driveway. The driveway is uneven, so I can add an extra 1/4 of an inch shim to this side and pick this side of the, because I couldn't level this way, I could only level this way. So I have it on a pitch going that way, on a lean going that way for the rain flow, water flow when it rains. But as far as it goes for this way, I'm not honestly too concerned about it. It's 1/4 of an inch off. Like I said, I could pick up this side 1/4 of an inch and level it out, but my anchor bolts won't be long enough, and I'll have to try to get those out, which would be an impossible task. So I'll probably have to drill new anchor bolt holes and then pick that up and do all that good stuff. So I'm not really going to worry about it. In fact, I'm kind of curious what it looks like from over here to see how bad of a difference it is, or how noticeable. Let me see if it's going to aggravate me. I mean, you can definitely tell there is a slight lean to it. There's 1/4 inch, like I said, but that is no fault of the tubing. It's the structure. So I'm not going to worry about it. Now, I'm going to get this welded up. Minimum on wire feed. Man, I wonder if my ground's going to be long enough to reach up there. I know the whip is, but I hope the ground is. Yeah, just barely. But it's not wide enough to grab it. So that sucks. So I'm going to go get another clamp real quick, so I can clamp that to the structure. The best part about this too is it's going to make this structure a lot more rigid. It's going to make it a lot more rigid. You playing your solitaire? I am. I'm also talking to the camera and stuff like that, so, but you can talk to me too. I'll talk to you. We can conversate. It could be on camera. This isn't no like professional YouTube where it's just like, okay guys, today on this old carport, we're going to be adding a gable, and this is what we're, and then all the camera angles and positioning and all that stuff. And here, you can have the mic because I can't have it on while I'm welding, so they can hear you talk. So reason why I'm welding it the way I'm welding it is the tubing is so thin for the carport. Anytime I've tried to run a bead, I just end up burning through it. So I just have to tack weld it all the way across until it's pretty much solid, you know, because I'm not trying to burn through it. I'm just trying to get the grab, and it's still going to hold just fine. Just not thick enough material, and this welder doesn't go down enough to be able to run a solid bead. I wish the whip on this was longer. I wish I had a longer whip on my welder, so I don't have to, because I'm gonna have to pick the welder up on a ladder or something to get it high enough to be able to weld the top pieces. That's the only downside. But okay, let me get this welded. Okay, we got that piece up now. So now I was gonna do 3 pieces, but I was gonna do one, a third, and center, but I got that crossbar, so I don't think I want to do that. I could just go 2. I could come a third and a third and do that, and just do 2 in the gable, but I think I might do 2 on the center and then come out and do 2 over here. Just go just right past that that brace in the middle. 2 might be enough. It's just I'm thinking that sheet metal, well, I guess that would be enough if I did 2. If I did 1 here and 1 there, that would be enough, because that's going to be bolted to there. Because I'm going to run the sheet metal this way to continue to match the rest of the structure. I'm trying to think about how I'm going to have the sheet metal actually connected. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, where I have a little triangle piece, I guess I could start with the bottom piece and then go up, but normally you start from the top and come down normally, but maybe I'll do the opposite. Maybe I'll start from the bottom and go up just for this piece here. No, I'll probably go from the top down like you're supposed to. Yeah, because each piece is going to be tied in, because it's going to have to be cut to that shape. So those are going to be, I'm just going to go with 2. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2, thinking about it, because the way I'm going to have to cut the sheet metal is going to have to be on that same cut. So it's going to get screwed in on both sides, and then it'll get screwed in from the centers. So this is 18 foot long. So if I go 6 foot, 6, 12, 0, 6, 12, 18. So if I go 6 foot, 6 foot, that should, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I am not going to overcomplicate it. I'm just going to do 2 pieces. Having too much is never a problem, right? I do like overkill when it comes to structures and building things. I'd rather it be bulletproof versus being just enough to barely maybe be what you need. Oh, come on. To be what you need, but in this case, I think two uprights will be more than enough over the course of this span. I think it's going to be more than enough. Because no matter how I go about doing it, it's going to be better than what it was originally. Still a little wobbly, but we're not done yet. Once I get the front one done and the back one, that should rigid it up a lot because it's very shaky. Here is 6 foot. So this is roughly 5 foot. Man, I already have 2 5-foot pieces cut, so it'd be a shame to have to cut these down for 4 inches, because that piece right there was 5 foot 4 inches. So that kind of seems like a waste of material to cut down a whole 20-foot stick to 2 sections for 8 inches total, when I could just take these 2 5-footers here and just go over a little bit. And by the way, everybody, I am winging this. I am just 100% winging this. So if I go to there, let's move it down a little bit there. I only moved down 3 inches. That's what I'm gonna do. They're already cut, makes it move a lot faster too. Then I only gotta cut 2 more at 5 foot, which will give me a full 10-foot piece. So I'm not wasting material having a couple inches. And I could always take that cut piece and weld that on and extend these up by 4 inches a piece, but I don't really think that's necessary. I just don't really think that's necessary. I'm gonna make it even easier, and I'm gonna cut the angle by simply just putting it up there. There's the mark there. Yeah. Hey, Mama, can you give me that level? Yeah, they're covered in oil. You got like a light oil film to keep them from rusting. Thank you. Okay, not too bad. I cut pretty easy. I'm gonna go ahead and use this one to mock up my next cut. That way, all I gotta do is get up there and weld them. Just makes it easier. Doesn't have to be 100% exact. I don't think most houses built today are 100% exact. I think they're more along the lines of, just wing it, it'll be all right. Man, bandsaw with a fresh blade. Cuts like butter. Here it is, December 26th. I'm sweating. Gotta love that. Now the hardest part about this is going to be getting the welder up top. I'm gonna have to pick it up and put it on my ladder. And then that way I have enough room to be able to enough length to be able to get it up there to at least do the top one. So I'm going to weld in the bottoms first on both sides, and then I'm going to pick the welder up on the ladder and then go from there. Crap. Can you give me my grinder? That's a little crooked. I can straighten that up though. Does that look straight?
Can't tell.
You can't see if that looks straight up and down?
It looks a little crooked.
This way, right?
Yeah.
Right there?
At the top it needs to go a little. That looks better.
Okay.
I don't want to be wrong.
Good enough for government work.
What did you say?
Huh? Good enough for government work? Same thing as before? Yeah, you. Let me know if it's straight.
That one needs to go to that way.
Is that good?
Looks good to me.
Come.
Confirm when you come down. You okay? Do you need anything on my side?
No, I'm okay. Thank you. All right, not too bad. Let me see what it looks like from back here and then debate if I want to put a third one up or not. I think 2 is going to be plenty. Yeah, I think 2 is going to be plenty. So I hope. So I hope. forgot I didn't have my mic on and I was talking up there. I was saying it's amazing what a little bit thicker material will do. And plus I turned my wire speed down, so it seems like I'm getting a better bead on it. Turning it down, and it's running a little bit better. That was the easy part. Now the hard part is getting that welder up there to be able to weld. So I'm gonna have to set it on my ladder so I can have the additional height to be able to get up there. I guess I'll do this one first since I'm already right here. Hopefully I can do this successfully without any issues to come. I think that should work. Yeah, that should be good. Hopefully. That should be good. Just gotta make sure I don't pull it. That would be terrible, huh? And pull the whole thing down and break it. Then I'd have to go to the store and buy me another one. I have to get another 110 welder because I don't have a 220 plug. I only have one on the whole property, and I don't have an extension cord for it, so I would have to get a cord and make a plug for it. This is why I want a bigger shop, because there's not even enough room for me to do this with ladders and the bars and trying to get in between with these massive ladders. It's very frustrating trying to do this. Yeah, safe to say I definitely made that a lot harder than I needed it to be. That is for sure. I gave myself a hell of an obstacle to work around these ladders in this tight space. But we got it done. And ultimately, that's all that matters. So I guess I'm going to do, since I got this ladder over here already, I'm going to do the inside of this one first. I'm going to set this ladder up, and then I'm going to put the welder where I need it after I get this position for where I need to be. That just makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? But hey, the welder didn't fall. We got it welded up. Ultimately, that was a success. Oh, goodness. Getting it done, making it happen. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. This is what's convenient about this little welder. It's so light. It's easy to pick up and move anywhere you need it to be. It just is incredibly convenient. What is going on here? It's just incredibly convenient, this little welder. That's why I'm never going to get rid of it. And honestly, even if I have a 220 gas shield and this breaks, I'm going to buy another one. I'm going to keep it one on hand because, like I said earlier, going out of town, whenever we go out of town, I bring this with me because you could plug it in anywhere, like literally anywhere. It has a 110 outlet, even a generator. Even a generator can run it, and you don't need a crazy hardcore generator. One gable done, one to go. It wasn't too painful. So now I have to do the front one, which is pretty much going to be exactly what I did back here. Measure out the bottom piece, weld it in, and measure out those. And I think that should be more than enough as far as it goes for the positioning, because it's just over 6 foot from upright to upright. And that's not too far of a span because these are just over 6 foot, because these are 5 foot spans right here. So this is like a 6 and 4 inch. Let's see exactly what this span is right here. I'm curious. That should be more than good enough for the sheet metal to go on there, especially because it's going to be screwed down from all the other places. Um, 6 foot 8 inches. Okay, a little bit further. Like I said, 4 inches. And you know, it's funny. That's why I said earlier, if I would have cut these down instead of 5 foot, I made them 5'4". I could have brought them in more, and it would have been an even 6 foot from piece to piece. But ultimately, since it's going to be cut at such a hard angle, it's going to be screwed in so many places, and then screwed in and screwed in and screwed in. So I don't see any reason why I should ever have to worry about this having any issues being the way that I did. And let's see if this made it a little bit more rigid. Still floppy. Disappointing. Very disappointing. I was really hoping that I was going to make it a lot more rigid. But it didn't. Still floppy. Well, maybe getting the front one on, maybe that will make it a lot more rigid. Maybe it'll be a lot more rigid whenever I get the front one. Let me move this camera. Yeah, maybe it'll be a lot more rigid when I get the front gable on. I was really hoping that that back gable was going to make a significant difference on how rigid it was and be like, yeah, perfect, beautiful, amazing. But it didn't do at all what I was hoping it was going to do. And I think this is going to be a big enough garage, because this is what your typical garage is here, and I can touch the soffit here. I can't even touch that, not even on my tippy toes. I can't even touch that. So that is right under 8 foot, which I don't see any vehicle having an issue passing under that. I mean, maybe like a really jacked up F-250 or F-350 or something, but I'm never gonna have nothing like that. I just don't have a desire for a truck like that. I don't have a need for it either. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, because, you know, people out there do and they love them, and that's great. But me personally, I don't have a need and or a desire for it. Just personal preference. If I get a truck, it's going to be for towing and hauling, not for off-roading and showboating. I think the second half of this video is just going to be a time lapse. I don't think I'm going to really talk on this one. It's going to be too long of a video. You guys got the gist of it. I'm going to go ahead and time lapse the rest of the video, and then tell y'all how I feel about it.